wil zo graag vrienden met je worden. Bevestigen of negeren?
Bevestigen.
Welkom op Facebook. Ik wil je graag even voorstellen aan een paar van mijn vrienden.
Martje Weijers wil vrienden met je worden. Bevestigen of negeren?
Oké, bevestigen.
Wink Kwok wil vrienden met je worden. Bevestigen of negeren?
Bevestigen.
Statusupdate. Zo, ik heb echt een hekel aan die stiltecoupés. Ik bedoel, ik heb dan juist de neiging om super veel lawaai te maken.
Dat vind ik leuk. Dat nou ook altijd.
Ja, vind ik leuk.
As a sleeper in Metropolis. As a sleeper in Metropolis. You are insignificant. Dreams become entangled in systems.
The problem of education does not concern me quite as much as the solutions to the problem of education are starting to concern me. Education is not about building better Googlers. Education is not about building better corporate citizens, better employees for organization. Education has, in the words of Edgar Morin, one vital task: to prepare individuals for the vital combat for lucidity. To prepare individuals to be a part of society. To prepare individuals to contribute, to create, to share, to interact. It is not to serve the corporate spectrum the way that education is regrettably being phrased today. And I'll take it one step further and say, if our future model of education needs to draw heavily from corporations, I don't want any part of it. The reason being that when we think about education, we need systems that permit optimal capacity for connections. Corporate-like structures are not created for optimal capacity for connections. They're created for a very focused, laser-like target to some very valid aspects. But if we build our educational system on a corporate system, we end up with a one-legged stool that serves absolutely no practical purpose. So I just want to put that out as a starting point, because in my view, teaching is the beautiful profession. Teaching is of far greater value to society than it's often given credit for. The development of next generation, the development of mindsets and attitudes, the changing of individual lives. I mean, that's the intent, the goal, and the focus of education. And so I'm a little concerned when we reduce it to the wrong point of focus.
Perceiving that alienation in society was a result of the domination of the individual by the mass media and consumerism, the Situationist International did not proclaim itself as a political movement, but was interested in the construction of moments of life, and in replacing passivity and doubt with playful affirmation. The word situationist denoted activity that aimed at making situations. What could be transformed into a situation? It could be an epic or a moment of an individual's life. From 1957 through 1972, they published journals and books, held exhibitions, made films, sprawled graffiti on city walls, subverted and created comics, and helped detonate the student revolts of May 1968 in Paris. The members of the Situationist International were aesthetic and political renegades who wanted nothing less than to change the world.
Fingertip shopping will be one of the many homemakers' conveniences. This video console will be channeled into the store of her choice. There, a camera will scan a display of wares which she will select by push button. Another part of this console is a household monitor screen which maintains a watch on critical areas in the house, swimming pool, or yard. What the wife selects on her console will be paid for by the husband at his counterpart console. All bills and transactions will be carried out electronically.
Who says online users are a bunch of anti-social geeks? Look, here we are in this nice cafe, drink in hand, friendly people, and we're surfing the net. This is the Icon Bite Bar and Grill in San Francisco, where you get the best of both worlds, real people and virtual people. You can come in here and sit down, have a drink, socialize, and check out some cool websites, look at your email, or log on to your favorite news groups. Today we'll show you the growing power of the internet on this edition of the Computer Chronicles.
Er is geen verschil tussen je identiteit in media en een identiteit daarbuiten. Dat betekent niet dat jouw Facebook-profiel echt is wie je bent. Dat betekent ook niet dat het nep is. Het is een versie. Net zo goed als je in de klas een versie van jezelf bent, in de club 's nachts een versie van jezelf bent en op het werk weer iemand anders bent, al is het alleen maar omdat je andere kleren draagt. Wat echt nieuw is dat je die identiteiten houden niet op omdat je je even op iets anders richt.
Nou, waar het heen gaat met sociale media is, als je kijkt naar het perspectief 2020, lijkt dat erg ver weg. Hè? Als je nu terugkijkt, een heel bekend iets wat iedereen gebruikt, YouTube bestaat eigenlijk pas sinds 2005, dus dat is nog net 6 jaar oud. Dus als je dan 9 jaar vooruit wilt kijken, dan begeef je je meteen op glad ijs. Ik denk wel de principes achter sociale media, dat die een steeds grotere impact gaan krijgen op het onderwijs. En met de principes bedoel ik dan dat je veel meer samenwerkt online, dat je werkt in de cloud, met samenwerken aan documenten die ergens online staan, waardoor je nooit last hebt van allerlei versies die door elkaar gaan lopen. Het hele reageren op elkaar, dus iets wat je ook ziet in Wikipedia, door kritisch naar elkaars uitingen te kijken, komen tot informatie op een wat hoger plan. Het hele idee van feedback, wat je heel goed kunt organiseren via sociale media. Dus die principes blijven allemaal wel bestaan. Alleen durf ik geen voorspelling te doen over de gereedschappen die we over 9 jaar, 10 jaar zullen gebruiken.
So what this means, this incredible freedom of choice we have with respect to work, is that we have to make a decision again and again and again about whether we should or shouldn't be working. We can go to watch our kid play soccer, and we have our cell phone on one hip, and our BlackBerry on our other hip, and our laptop presumably on our laps. And even if they're all shut off, every minute that we're watching our kid mutilate a soccer game, we are also asking ourselves, should I answer this cell phone call? Should I respond to this email? Should I draft this letter? And even if the answer to the question is no, it's certainly going to make the experience of your kid's soccer game very different than it would have been. So everywhere we look, big things and small things, material things and lifestyle things, life is a matter of choice. And the world we used to live in looked like this. That is to say, there were some choices, but not everything was a matter of choice. And the world we now live in looks like this.
Schools are still pretty much organised on factory lines, ringing bells, separate facilities, specialised into separate subjects. We still educate children by batches. You know, we put them through the system by age group. Why do we do that? You know, why is there this assumption that the most important thing kids have in common is how old they are? You know, it's like the most important thing about them is their date of manufacture. You know what I mean? Well, I know kids who are much better than other kids at the same age in different disciplines, you know, or at different times of the day, or better in smaller groups than in large groups, or sometimes they want to be on their own. If you're interested in a model of learning, you don't start from this production line mentality. It's essentially about conformity, and increasingly it's about that as you look at the growth of standardized testing and standardized curricula, and it's about standardization. I believe we've got to go in the exact opposite direction. That's what I mean about changing the paradigm. There was a great study done recently of divergent thinking. It was published a couple of years ago. Divergent thinking isn't the same thing as creativity. I define creativity as the process of having original ideas that have value. Divergent thinking isn't a synonym, but it's an essential capacity for creativity. It's the ability to see lots of possible answers to a question, lots of possible ways of interpreting a question, to think what Edward de Bono would probably call laterally, to think not just in linear or convergent ways, to see multiple answers, not one. So, I mean, there are tests for this. I mean, one kind of cod example would be people might be asked to say, how many uses can you think of for a paperclip? One of those routine questions. Most people might come up with 10 or 15. People who are good at this might come up with 200. And they do that by saying, well, could the paperclip be 200 foot tall and be made out of foam rubber? You know, like, does it have to be a paperclip as we know it, Jim? You know.
What is it?
This, Jen, is the internet.
What?
That's right.
This is the internet. The whole internet.
Yep. I asked for a loan of it so that you could use it in your speech.
It's so small.
That's one of the surprising things about it.
Hang on. It doesn't have any wires or anything.
It's wireless.
Oh, yes, everything's wireless nowadays, isn't it? So I can really use it in my speech. What if someone needs it?
Oh, no. People will still be able to go online and everything. It'll still work.
Oh, good.
I tell you, you present this to the shareholders and you will get quite a response.
Can I touch it? Ooh. It's so light.
Of course it is, Jen. The internet doesn't weigh anything.
No, of course it doesn't.
Hey! What is Jen doing with the internet?
Ma said I could use it for my speech.
Are you insane? What if she drops it?
I won't drop it. I'll look after it.
No, Jen. No, this needs to go straight back to Big Ben.
Big Ben?
Yeah, it goes on top of Big Ben. That's where you get the best reception.
Good afternoon, Mr. Amer. Everything is going extremely well.
Hal, you have an enormous responsibility on this mission. In many ways, perhaps the greatest responsibility of any single mission element. Does this ever cause you any lack of confidence?
Let me put it this way, Mr. Amer. The 9000 series is the most reliable computer ever made. No 9000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information. We are all, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error.